In your packet, you have a general, this is what it looks like on the cover. We will make sure that you all have it, but it's a place to suggest go this way, look for these things further in depth, and I'm only going to mention a little bit about each one. But these are some wonderful tools, and I'll remind you of some things that you may not have seen in a while or thought about in a while. This one, though, is a leadership planning guide. I love this document. It's very well structured. It starts out first setting the stage for the critical nature of leadership and the direction that leadership needs to go to with us, the key players, and the collaboration across the state in terms of those key players. You recognize all those acronyms. This is a very valuable, I find, wheel or chart that a number of folks are paying a lot of attention to as a good way to structure their conversations within their school districts. The rest of the document keys off this chart. It has components, and then it has, in addition, just as it says here, the suggested steps, and then it goes into key questions and special considerations. In the appendices, then, there are checklists, kind of a checklist that I found to be pretty, I believe it would be quite generative for the folks in your districts about, for teacher conversations, teacher administrator conversations about where are we really and what are we comfortable with and what are we not so comfortable with in terms of what we're doing. And there's a chart there that's kind of a grid that I feel, again, is more than anything a place for people to start thinking. There's no magic in a grid or in the checkoffs, but I think the magic is in the conversation that follows. This is available on the CSESA website, and I suggest that you go there and spend some time with it. One of the next things that we have is an outstanding strategy guidebook for leaders. This is a product of the hard work of PACE and our Pivot Learning colleagues who are in the room here. Wave your hands there. Okay, they've put a lot of time and effort into helping develop strategies for leadership, and as you know, they work hands-on with leaders on a daily basis, and this is directed especially for the hard work of taking on a leadership role, working day in and day out with folks to keep them moving ahead on both kind of a rational and an experiential level as well. You know, how do you do the real leadership at the school site and at the district level? What kinds of things do you address? Their folks have incredible depth of experience in working with people. They organize this around design challenges. I encourage you to go into these in your handout in depth rather than have me read them to you. But again, this is the real work and the real conversations that we have as we're going through implementation. This is very much a people endeavor at its deepest level. There are issues of design, and we heard design issues from both of our districts. They approached it in different ways with the same goal depending on their context. So this is, again, very contextual work, and it's critical, and this document brings that out, the critical nature of context as you move forward. This is the website where it can be found. You can also talk to our folks in the room about this document after and their development, and Brent talked a bit about it in the creation. We also have a very good EL tool that I strongly encourage you to pursue. Fortunately, the ElCap asks us to address and supports us in addressing in-depth the English language development processes. Our framework is an ELA-ELD framework, and as you know, that's in the middle of development and public hearings and getting feedback. It's an extensive document. Take a look at this. This is a very good place to start with districts, and it's in depth in there. Let's I don't want to summarize that for you. It's on the SCOE website, the Sacramento County Office of Education website for you. Communication tools, Nancy referenced these earlier. The Council of Great Cities is a wonderful resource. I suggest you go to that site with regularity. Not only do they have outstanding documents for education stakeholders, but they also have outstanding documents for parents there as well. It's a good way to put it. Messages, messengers, strategies, and successful plans as well. This is some of the finest thinking going together, all in one place. They also have a variety of materials that you can use and prepare in your own current context, change the wording and some of the situations to fit, but it's generative of your thinking about the kinds of communications that need to be made. The parent handbook I found to be outstanding. The translations, as you can see, the parent-friendly language. Our subject matter projects have been less in the limelight than they used to be. Somehow in the development of our No Child Left Behind, I feel, at least in this area, our subject matter projects kind of took a step back. And I think in that they were specifically designed with collaborative teacher development in mind. Now is the time for them to take a further step forward again. These are specifically collaboratively focused for teachers, helping teachers to learn. They're led by teachers, and they are across the state, and I have a feeling they will be growing. This is out of the UCOP and I think University of California Office of the President. I think they will be important to watch. These are all the different subject matter projects, and as you see, as we move toward history, social science, and science, this is going to be an upcoming area that we need to pay some attention to, and these folks can help us. They have many initiatives that they are generating, starting up, tied to the Common Core. As you know, the mathematics framework is a tremendous support to us, and will continue to be so as we consider the increasingly complex issue of adoptions and how we handle this in a digital era. English Language Arts, ELD, we've talked about. The framework is under construction. And again, the PACE and Ed Policy in California website is an ongoing reference that we need to pay attention to. I did want to mention to a moment, just briefly, that in the first document that we covered, there are a tremendous number of websites to go to. And one possibility, I think that what we mentioned here is really true. The time to pursue websites, I'm looking at Kim, who spends half of his time doing exactly that, to pursue the many resources out there is becoming overwhelming. And I think that that's something that we need to next look at collaboration on, is how can we track the best resources that are out there. These documents, I think, have tried to corral those, and now it's up to us to find the time to look at them. But I think among the resources we have today, these are some of the most outstanding resources that have been identified for you, and they reference outstanding resources. I think if we could get to what has been encountered this morning, I think that you would be in good stead for the year to come. Technology tools. The CASP Technology Readiness website is very much timely for this moment. There are a number of ways for you to examine where you are by resource topic, type of user, in terms of the folks that you have involved in this process, and to help you gain a closer and closer look at what you need to do not only for the testing, for the field test, but also in the classroom this year and next.